I was hanging out with my friends the other day, not in person of course, on Discord, because we're cool kids, but also because the world has gone to shit. And we were doing some pretty degenerate stuff like going on webtoons and trying to find cringy comics to read out loud. While I was meandering through the intricate and vast array of not so intricate and vast storytelling, my eyes fell upon a cover, and on that cover were two letters that would change me forever. B. L. At first I was like, ooh, banana loaves. I love banana loaves. Who doesn't like banana loaves? Banana loaves are the coolest thing in the world. But little did I know, it had nothing to do with banana loaves. Although, it did have something to do with bananas, if you catch my drift. Following the confusion, I learned from a friend that BL meant boys love, which means gay. After this degenerate jam session with my friends, I went on my own solitary degenerate jam session and began to think about how these seemingly innocent tags in the media can actually affect our perception of the LGBTQ community as a whole. So, just to reiterate, LGBTQ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. Lesbians are homosexual females. Gay can be described both homosexual females and males, but is commonly used for just homosexual men. Bisexuals attract to both genders, and sometimes everything in between. Transgenders are people whose gender does not match the gender given to them at birth, and queer can be used for anybody in between, but is also used as a derogatory term by some people, so understand the context they use it in. Sometimes a plus can be added to the end, and there's also LGBTQIAAP, which adds a few more orientations to the acronym. Whew. Man, when the acronym is longer than your P. It's no secret that the LGBTQ community all over the world has been scrutinized and terribly treated. Despite this, there has been an increase in LGBTQ media over the years, which exposes a wider audience to the group, which is good, except for the way it's handled, for two main reasons. See, in media, especially in television and literature, there's something called a trope. A trope is like a cliche, a common and overused theme or idea. For example, that point in the horror movie where the people are stuck in an old creepy mansion and dumb baby brain Jimmy says, hey, why don't we all split up, and next thing you know, the black guy's dead. In a lot of LGBTQ media, stereotypes are often used as tropes, and many of them are harmful. I decided to go to the streets, also known as Discord, and find people who can inform me on the topic. So, I didn't get any interviews because my friends value their privacy, whatever that means, but I still managed to chat with them about the subject and crack down on a list of the most commonly used LGBTQ tropes in mainstream media. Gay characters aren't even characters. In a lot of shows, the gay character's only character trait is being gay. I mean, imagine if Barney's only character trait was that he was a dinosaur. I guess his character would be pretty hollow. Get it? Because it's a sub-trope of this that I found was the gay best friend trope, where the character has, get this, a gay best friend whose character trait is, get this, being gay. Usually, this is just used to make the shows seem hip and hop with the ages or woke because diversity is trendy. And honestly, this sends an even worse message to the world about LGBTQ people because they're being treated like a commodity the show must have in order to impress its young audience rather than being treated like normal humans. Bury your gays. In a lot of media, once the gay character has completed their role in the story, that role usually consisting of being gay, then the character will just die off in some stupid way because the show can't be bothered to have their homosexuality polluting the air. This happens a lot with lesbian and bisexual characters. Speaking of bisexual characters, they are usually portrayed as cheaters or unfaithful. Apparently the media thinks that every LGBTQ character is white. That's just not true. That's just like saying all my friends are good influences. That's just not true. But on a serious note, queer racial minorities are seriously underrepresented in the media, which does not help the fact that they're also discriminated against within and outside of the LGBTQ community. And lastly, the over-sexualization of gays is everywhere. I mean, going back to the BL thing, most stories under that tag are sexual. And not even to progress a story or being used as a sign of character growth. No. Character development 101? Just throw that out the window. You want dongs to touch. I mean, come on, lesbian and gay are not even being made for lesbians and gays. You know who it's for. These and many other tropes are able to distort a non-LGBTQ's members' views of the group. Especially if these trope-heavy forms of media are their only exposure to them. But this also affects the people within the LGBTQ community's views on themselves, because they may start believing that they must follow through with these stereotypes, which is not true at all. Yeah! Let's get it. Let's go! When any minority group appears in a movie, a show, or a book, some people may ask, well, why is this character black, or why is this character gay, or why is this character woman? Unless the choice was to serve purpose in building up the theme or ideas of a story, there should be no reason. You are whatever race you are because your parents are that race and decided to have some fun. That's it, biology 101. For the most part, straight white men has been the default in Western media, so normalizing people of a different group is achieved by not having this default. Simple, right? Not quite. The reason we have this default in the first place is because it's so ingrained in our minds that straight white men are superior. Don't get me wrong, they can be cool. But at the same time, minority groups are also put onto the mainstream media for the wrong reason. Because the CEO is like, we need to attract the cool kids. And then the advisor would be like, well, diversity's trendy. Two main points I want you to take away from this is that harmful tropes can distort outsiders' and insiders' views on the LGBTQ community, and accepting that a character does not need a reason for being a minority will bring us closer to their normalization. On an optimistic note, positive LGBTQ representation has been steadily growing and people's perception of them has been increasing in positivity, so that's cool. This has been a pound of pesto pasta with a pinch of parmesan, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Yay, cool, great.